Currently like 11 weeks out from my next competition, and I kind of want to do better. So I'm trying to take everything that I do a little bit more serious, a little bit less laid back, all because of the level that I'm trying to get at. So, if you're trying to get to that next level, you might have to become a try hard. So I'm trying really hard right now. But anyways, I'm gonna just kind of walk you guys through a typical workout, or pretty much how I think about my workouts and how it all kind of forms together through training, through what I'm eating, through my stretching warm up process, and pretty much just everything that I do. Because a lot of people seem to think like it's easy to get big or it's easy to get strong. That's one of the reasons why people are turned away from training. But trust me, not trying to make fun of anybody, but if you want to be as good as me or as good as some of these other athletes that have already proven themselves to be at that level, you're going to have to put in the work in. It doesn't matter if you take steroids or not. Regardless of what other people do, it's not going to affect what you do for yourself. That's why you want to focus on yourself, and who could care less about what other people do. Anyways, I'm going to start off my day with Jack 3D. Again, it's supplements that I get from my powerlifting coach. It's pretty much just a creatinine. I like creatinine better than I like creatine monohydrate. It just is easier on my stomach. It doesn't hurt me as much. I'm gonna put 3 scoops because I'm trying to get fat. 3 scoops. Okay. So I got 3 scoops of creatine in there, kind of like a pre-warm up or a pre-workout, little drink before the pre-workout. Hey, this is something that I got from Chu Feng from Locksmith's Disciples. It's, I don't know, XS dragon fruit. It's kind of like an amino acid. What I do is I mix 1 scoop of that into the creatine. So technically now it's like a creatine drink with a little bit of aminos. Amino acids are pretty much just protein already broken down. So the moment you drink it, it goes right into your system versus a protein shake where it has to go into your stomach, digest a little bit, maybe 15, 20 minutes later you'll get it. But aminos, you get it instantly, right? And then this amino acid also has electrolytes in there. So it's kind of like a Gatorade as well. And if most people don't know this, right? Because a lot of people tend to think like if you eat a lot of sodium, it's bad for you. Not if you work out, okay? Generally, you want to, increase your electrolyte intake before you work out because, to create a action potential for muscles, right? Or to make a muscles work like this, to extend, contract, to move heavy weights, you need sodium, potassium, and calcium, right? Sodium and potassium, they work as a team to create energy. So a lot of the times if you're not sweating or if you feel like your workouts are starting to get hard and things just aren't going your way, there's a good chance maybe you didn't have enough electrolytes or not enough sodium or potassium into your diet before you want to go work out. And then at the same time, you also need water for that to be effective. So if you don't have enough sodium, potassium on top of water, your action potential is going to be less active, meaning you're not going to be able to output the same amount of strength and endurance as you normally do if you had your electrolytes and water. So what I'm trying to do now is increase all of those levels, and then we'll go on from there. Okay, so this is my creatine, branched chain amino acids, and electrolytes all mixed in one. I'm gonna shake this up just a little bit, and pretty much have every little thing I need. Normally, if I'm hungry, I might just snack on something, but I'm trying to stay lean now, so I'm trying not to get over 150 anymore because I just want a better life for me, and if I want a better life, I gotta start dieting. I hate dieting, but who cares? It's time to get better, and we'll go into the workout and see where that goes.
All right, so this is my workout for today. And the first things that I want to do is find an area where I could perform my first exercise, which is the squat. So I went ahead and just dropped all my stuff there. And pretty much what I'm doing is just the bar, and I don't even add any weights onto the bar when I squat until I know everything feels good. So just generally picking up the bar, I hate the way it feels on my back already because my shoulders are really tight. So I know I have to loosen that up or stretch that a little bit. And as I'm squatting down, just doing a few reps, just to feel my body out, I really don't like the way my body feels as I'm squatting up and down. Something feels off about my hips, so I need to stretch, do some mobility around my adductors, my hamstrings, and stuff like that before I even begin. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is address my hips because I definitely didn't like it when I was at the bottom of my squat. So pretty much I have a barbell set at a low height, probably around my knee height, and I'm just pretty much digging the barbell into all of the adductors that are connected into your pelvis from the bottom. And pretty much what I'm using the bar as like a little massage tool to really work it in and to loosen up the adductors and all the quads and hamstring muscles kind of all around that area, so when I squat down there it feels a lot better versus being restricted. Alright, so the next area that I want to address is pretty much where the barbell sits on my back. So I'm trying to dig into the traps, the levator, the rhomboids. I'm hitting my traps or my the big muscle that connects from your shoulders to your neck with the barbell, and I'm using the lacrosse ball to kind of dig into the muscles where the arrow was pointing at. And I'm pretty much just trying to loosen up that entire area with the lacrosse ball, getting into the rotator cuffs a little bit, getting into the lats a little bit, and just kind of work my way around those areas to loosen it up so when the barbell sits on my back it feels comfortable, and at the same time my hips are loose. And those are technically all the main stuff that I need for the squat. And pretty much right after that I'm going to get into some of my stretch, and you guys already know I try to stay as loose as possible, and then once everything feels good then I begin squatting. Alright, so now that I'm finally able to squat, I'm pretty much warming up kind of like the way I warm up with kilo plates now. So it's going to be like 165, 275, and then somewhere in between depending on what my number was. Pretty much the whole idea of what I think about when I'm warming up is I take every set, every rep, every weight just as if I was going to do my top set. That way my body is already kind of gearing up to that weight, to that rep, to that capacity level that I'm trying to get at. And I'm trying to work on this new technique. So the whole goal all the way up, all the warm-up sets and all the sets that I have going for me today is just to really make sure everything that I'm doing is perfect, from the way I'm squatting down, from my feet positioning as I set it up, how I'm gripping the bar, as I'm taking a deep breath and I'm squeezing, am I able to utilize all my muscles and hit depth all at the same time and just repeat it over and over and over again. And that's kind of the focus for today with all of my sets. Right, so my top sets was 385 for 4 sets of 4. So I'm just going to show you guys a few of those sets. Again, using the momentum from all my warm-ups all the way up until now, I'm trying to do, perfect that technique as much as I can with 385 for 4 sets of 4s. Overall focus for a lot of these sets is making sure I hit depth, making sure everything's nice and tight. Do I feel the floor? Am I flexing my legs and my glutes when I'm squatting down? And as I'm coming up into lockout, am I bracing the belt? Do I feel, my teeth clenching down on that mouthpiece that I have going on right now? Am I maintaining my chest up? Am I able to squeeze the barbell with my arms and my lats, locking it in kind of like a pec fly? So I'm thinking about all these things as I'm performing the lifts. Alright, so next up is bench press, 125 kilos or 275 for 5 sets of 3s. And pretty much the same concept. I'm roughly around 80 something percent, so I'm just really focusing on making sure my technique is good, making sure my butt's on the bench, making sure I'm feeling the floor, feeling the bench, feeling the bar, and just making sure technique is as perfect as possible. Alright, so the rest of these exercises aren't really recommended for the training program, but I mean, if I'm just going to bench press, I might as well add in a little bit extra work. So I dropped the weight down a little bit and put my bench buddy on, just to kind of protect my shoulders a little bit and add some extra volume in there with 255 pounds. Just again, making sure everything's nice and perfect, squeezing the bar, with a little bit lighter weight compared to the actual sets. I'm able to focus on technique more. And then something that I like to just add on top of everything is negatives. 6 seconds on the way down, 2-second pause on my chest, and then I pretty much just let it drop, and then I put the weight back on. The only time I get to rest is pretty much the moment I put the weight back onto the rack and then I reset, just like how I normally do. And this is a good way just to overload. This is 295, so about 20 pounds heavier than my actual set that was set for today, which was 275. And all I'm really doing is focusing on the negative part so I don't technically overwork myself. So these are the accessories that I'm doing after my squat and bench, and the dumbbell bench press isn't a part of what's on the program, but pretty much everything else that I do from this point on for the accessories is these accessories going to affect my day 2? So I'm looking at my day 2, I'm bench pressing, I'm deadlifting, and doing a lot of arm stuff. So if anything, I can get away with adding more leg exercises. So pretty much after all these extra chest exercises that I add into the program, and I'm also going to do lat pull downs and reverse hypers and leg raises, but generally I'm going to add more onto my day 1 because I'm a try hard and I'm trying to get better. So if I could get away with doing legs on this day and it won't affect my day 2, why not?
Skeeter Boot Center offers an all-new Skeeter Double Deck 26, a great boat made even better. The front deck is now 25% larger with many fishing-friendly features. The rear deck has been completely